What's up, Facebook? Sunday evening after a long, busy weekend. I wanted to talk a little bit about some stuff that it's stuff I've been through that I can relate to and that I'm very well educated in dealing with. But it's even just it goes beyond me, outside of me. Depression and suicide is so real. It's so, for lack of a better term, and I don't mean this in a positive way. It's really a negative way. It's so popular, like it's a fad, nearly. But it's because of the way the world is and how hard it is to function with everything that we're dealing with, everything that comes our way. So I have worked with this. I've lived with it myself. I still currently live with it. I haven't solved it yet, but it's definitely something that I work on daily. Someone close to me just ended their life. I'm not going to say any names or anything, but it was a work colleague from out of town. But man, and so many of my friends have ended their lives over things they were facing. Stuff that they were facing. And trust me, it's been a thought in my mind before too. You know, maybe it'd be easier that way. Maybe it just makes it all go away. But the reality of it is it doesn't go away. Yeah, it may end your problems, but you just started a whole lot of problems for other people, and that is not okay. Because no matter what you're going through, if you think that no one cares, there is someone that cares. And most of the time that's going to be your family, your close friends. But the main person that cares is God. And see, He knew we were going to go through this. He knew that we were going to be born into a world like this, and that we were going to face these trials and tribulations. But He also gave us something to cope. And even though I've been against it, I'm thinking that maybe doctors and medicine, it might help. It may. I don't know. I don't take much medicine for anything. I've always been against it, but I'm starting to have some second opinions on a lot of things and looking into some different avenues. But He definitely gave us the skills as humans, as His children, to cope with these things. And He gave us a book. I mean, He gave us a book to look into, to read. It's literally full of instructions. But the world has also given us, the world, not God, the world, man-made things. The world has also given us things to cope with this bad thing that it's like a disease in your head, certainly like a cancer. It can spread, depression. The world's given us alcohol. The world has given us sexual fantasies. It's given us pornography. It's given us bars. It's given us drugs. It's given us TV, violence. None of which, some of it's unavoidable because you're going to see it. But it doesn't mean you have to participate. And I'm not the pot calling the kettle black here. because I've participated in several things, bars and, chasing the wrong thing. But, yeah, Cody, that may be a rebel flag that you just saw. Yeah, that's a rebel flag. Anyway. So, this is kind of an unscripted live video. It's just, I had to take care of some stuff earlier today that was weighing me down, and I kind of worked through it. But man, it's just, there's so much to live for. No matter how bad it is. There's a way to cope with all this. There's a way to work through it. There's, like I said, the number one thing being God, and not ever letting that go. But man, there's so many resources. And as bad as the world is, it can also help us, I guess, in that aspect if we use the tools the right way. But my biggest struggle is finding myself, finding my worth, finding my purpose. And probably the hardest thing for me to do is sit still. And what I mean by that is I've moved a lot. I have job hopped. I have moved cities, trying to find happiness. And which, the moving part's not necessarily bad, but it's for the reasons that I did it and the way that I did it. I didn't go about it the right way. So the number one thing in fighting something like depression and those bad thoughts of thinking that there's no other way out is, man, you really got to find yourself. You got to find happiness. And as I've said in these videos before, that will never ever come from another human. You can't rely on that. You can't put all your eggs in that basket, because they will fail you. Even you will fail you. Your truck will fail you. Your job will fail you. The only thing that we have that won't fail us is Christ, and the way that He has it laid out for us. If you can follow that, and I'm not saying that you'll be perfect, because that's impossible. There was only one perfect person, one perfect being, and He is the man that watches over us. But if you can follow that and really devote your life to that, you will see things begin to change. You will find things that nearly construct themselves inside of you, and you'll be able to feel it. Trust me, you will, because I've been at the rock bottom deal to where I never wanted to go forth another day, to even step out my door. But you will feel things begin to construct inside of yourself. You feel stronger. Your motivation picks up. Your work ethics begin to improve. Your smile, your all around habits, your crowd of people will change. The way you treat people, the way you take things, the way you understand, the way you comprehend. Everything is so detrimental to your health and the way that you do it. It all matters. It all has a purpose. And you can't lose sight of all of that stuff. You have to stay with it. You have to stay solid. But the number one thing that I found, anytime I get outside of God and I get lazy in my walk, this stuff creeps back in, and it'll start to eat you up. And it doesn't take any longer than one day, sometimes even just an hour. So I can't stress to anybody enough the importance of a positive, healthy lifestyle. It's not worth ending it. It's really not, because if you do that, you're cutting yourself short. You're cutting your kids short. Your moms, your dads, your friends, your grandparents. I don't know. I don't know what else to say, but reach out. And if the people you're not reaching, and if the people that you're reaching out to aren't doing anything, or are not helping, which I'm not saying it's their responsibility, but that is what God has called upon us as brothers and sisters and as children of Him for the rest of the living world to be, is to be somebody that can help, to be somebody that can lend an ear, a hand, a word, a roof, if need be. Man, you gotta stay focused, and you gotta reach out to the people that want to see you succeed. You can't expect anything to start looking up if you're not willing to put the effort into it, and if you're not willing to change some things. Nobody's going to do it for you. And you also can't keep yourself in a negative place. Don't keep yourself around the people that bring you down. I'm not saying to hate them or anything like that, because that's not the right way, but separation and distance has been good for people. It's been good for me. But you can't. I'm trying to get that light out of the background, but you can't end it. It's not fair. It's not right. You owe it to yourself, to your kids, to your wives, to whoever you have in your family, that you got to push on through for another day, another year, another 5 years, until the day comes that you are actually supposed to be called home. Because I have a pretty good feeling that if you depict your final day yourself, I don't think it's going to be as pretty on the other side like you think it is, like I've thought it was going to be. It may put your spirit to rest here on earth or whatever, but I think you face another kind of hell that's worse than here by doing something like that. And you also can't let this stuff eat you up to where it does kill you, to where it gives you a heart attack or causes bad health problems. It'll shave years off your life. It'll take away from your purpose. And everybody's got a purpose. Everybody. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. Nobody was an accident. God doesn't make mistakes, but He can dang sure help you fix them. And you just can't, man. I want to encourage people to share this video because it's real. It's testimony, and it's hard evidence. It's living proof that anybody, that when they get that down and that low, that there's always something more than what they're going through. It is only a temporary season in your life. Our time on this earth is temporary. Our jobs are temporary. Our toys, motorcycles, fishing, hunting, beer drinking, chasing women, all that stuff is temporary. It's not actually what we're called to do for eternity. So, I encourage anybody, and without being too graphic, I probably won't go into a lot of detail about what I've been through, but I will share my personal testimony with anybody that asks me. And I guess if enough people get together and ask me to do a live video of going into some detail on some things, I would have to think about that and figure out a way to get it scripted and get it kind of put together, I guess. But just to keep it, just to highlight on some things. I tell you, one of my biggest fears was never having a family of my own, never being a good enough dad, never being a husband. I felt for years that I would be single my whole life, and now that I continue to go through every day, I mean, I'm in a relationship now, but and it's going, it's working, it's good, but you know, I don't. Each day that goes by, I think I fear that a little less, the more work I put in, because I realize that I can't rush anything and I can't force something to happen, because 9 times out of 10, anything that you force to happen, if you force your hand instead of waiting for God's hand to open that door for you, if you force your way through that door, more than likely that door is going to close and it's going to catch on fire, and everything in it and around it is going to burn down. And it's going to burn down real bad in a way that is not helpful. It's not healthy. It's going to be harmful. It's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt the people around you. So like I said, that these videos I do, they're a shot in the dark. I totally do this off a whim. I do it as things happen. I do it as I hear things. I do it as God puts it on my heart. I do it for myself as my own little meditation cleansing. There you go, cleansing. But I do it because I share it, because nobody has to go through these things alone. Nobody has to keep this stuff locked inside. Get it out. Reach out. Tell somebody. And if the people, like I said, that you are telling, that you are reaching out to, if they can't help you, or for whatever reason, if they're not capable, or if they're keeping you locked down, whatever, man, get away. Find somebody different, and definitely start with God, and God will lead you to the people that can. I know He did that for me, and He still continues to do that. He's a big deal. He really does work, and if you start practicing that, if you make that something that's a part of your life, you'll see the proof. It'll show itself. You won't have to second guess anything. So, man, I guess I'm going to end this, because if not, I'm just going to be rambling. But reach out to me for anything, anybody, no matter what. Life is hard, and it's hard to do it alone. It's hard enough. So don't do anything permanent over a temporary circumstance, because the permanent circumstances are not going to be okay. It's not going to fix it. It's not going to solve anything. Like that Garth Brooks song, if tomorrow never comes, you'll never know what that tomorrow is if you jump like that. The deep end is deep, but it's never too deep to where God can't pull you out of it. And you got to remember that. He's always there. And He has people that are there for you too. And He will put that in your life. But He can't do that until you open up to Him. He can't do that until you turn it over. The struggle to figure out who you are, to figure out where you're supposed to be, and the struggle to want to be loved, to be accepted, it's a huge deal. And it can be devastating if you get swallowed up by this world. Trust me, I know. I've been there. I've lived it for a long time. Years. Over 20 years. So, but you don't have to do it alone. God tells you that no man can match what He's done, for He has created us in His image from the blood shed from His Son that He sacrificed for us, so that we wouldn't have to live in the misery and the pain that He knew the world was full of. And I can't remember the name of the verse, but I read part of it today, but he's talking about, for ye not to fear anything on this earth, because am I not God? Am I not the one that created this earth? Am I not the one that's bigger than this? Am I not more powerful than man? So what do you need to fear other than God? And if you think about it, it makes sense. I mean, I'm not saying go out and do something, illegal or something like that, because you will have to face some consequences here on earth for things that you do, for everything. That's not what I'm saying, but as long as you're going to work and you're trying to take care of your family, and you're trying to do what really God has called you to do, these financial problems, these family problems, the negative chains that you are born with, that bind you, that you inherit from parents, from family members, from friends, stuff, life situations, whatever life throws at you, is not something you have to be stuck with. You can break those chains 100%. You don't have to live in any kind of addiction or depression. That's not to say that stuff won't keep coming up, because you won't just get it fixed and then be able to, oh, okay, we're good. You can just walk around the rest of your life and not have to worry about anything, because every day you will definitely face something, no matter what you do. But if you can go at it with the right tools in your hands and a strong mind, a positive mind, a loving mind, and a God-fearing mind, you'll make it through this life okay. You really will. I'm going to close this now, but wherever you are tonight, whoever you are, don't do something you can't turn back from, because then nobody benefits. Nobody wins. Everybody loses at that point. I love you all. Fly with Christ.